I'm excited to show you some very cool water slides that Royal Caribbean added to one of their ships recently. They sunk $115 million into one of their ships, Navigator of the Seas, to make it absolutely amazing. It took them nearly 2 months to do all the work, and it's all completed now, and the ship looks like a lot of fun. The thing that impresses me the most is the new water slides they came up with. I'm kind of a connoisseur of cruise ship water slides. Even though I'm nearly old enough to retire, I love a good cruise ship water slide, and not the gentle ones. I want a thrill on a water slide. I've got to hand it to Royal Caribbean on this one. The water slides they put on Navigator of the Seas look great. There are 2 slides. One of them is called Blaster, and the other is RipTide, and together they are known as the Perfect Storm. The Blaster is a raft-type slide, not unlike Disney's Aqueduct slide, but much faster and more thrilling. Right now, we're looking at a 2-person raft going through the Blaster, but in a minute you'll see that they also have 1-person rafts if you want to just go solo. Now, from a distance in an aerial shot like this, the ride looks a lot more gentle than it really is. When we go to a closer shot, down at slide level, you can really see the kind of speed you get on this slide. It's impressive. This is not a gentle slide for 5-year-olds. This is the kind of water slide that I can get excited about. Now here's a pretty cool point of view shot. This is one of the 2-person rafts going through the slide, and the person in front is holding the camera. Now you can really see the kind of speed you can get on this slide, all the ups and downs, and the great views too in the clear sections. I hope you agree that Royal Caribbean did a great job in designing this slide. It's a fantastic addition to Navigator of the Seas. Now let's take a run through the second slide called RipTide. And I can't think of any other cruise ship water slide that uses a mat like this and allows you to go down the slide head first. Going through the slide head first like that with the water splashing in your face, that's going to seem way faster and more thrilling than a slide where you go feet first. And this is going to make a lot of kids happy because as long as you're at least 42 inches tall, you can go on this slide. There are twists and turns, and RipTide even takes you out over the side of the ship where, when you look down through the clear section of tube, you're looking at the ocean below you. Now, the $115 million renovation of Navigator of the Seas was about a lot more than just water slides. There are quite a few new bars and restaurants, but it's all the fun stuff that they added that excites me. It used to be that the flow riders were the coolest things on Royal Caribbean ships, but on Navigator of the Seas, there's so much more now. I do want to mention one great restaurant thing they did, though. They've got a casual Mexican buffet restaurant called El Loco Fresh, no extra charge, included in your cruise fare, and some of Royal Caribbean's newest ships have El Loco Fresh already, but on Navigator of the Seas, they placed it out on the pool deck, which is a great place for it. Navigator of the Seas does very inexpensive 3- and 4-day cruises out of Miami. And the highlight of each cruise might just be a perfect day at Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's private island in the Bahamas that's been the subject of its own $200 million renovation. It now features the largest freshwater pool in the Caribbean and all sorts of fun stuff at a gigantic water park, including 13 slides. It's obvious that Royal Caribbean is upping their game, spending a ton of money to get ahead of the other cruise lines in the category of fun. And I say, job well done, Royal Caribbean. If you'd like to book a cruise on Navigator of the Seas or any cruise ship on any cruise line, a smart move would be to let my travel agent make all the arrangements for you. Her fees are completely paid for by the cruise line, so her service costs you nothing. and she can really make booking a cruise a lot easier than it is on your own, answer all your questions for you, and keep you from making any rookie cruiser mistakes. Contact Caitlin Gallagher, the owner of Ambren Travel.